He's a Denver native, born of Denver natives. A former chief deputy DA, he is an active Colorado trial lawyer who has also worked in the media for decades. Bright, independent, and full of fun. He is part of 710 KNUS now. This is the Craig Silverman Show.
Oh, what a world, what a day, what a life. Interesting life led by our guest, Greg Gold. He's in Craig's Lawyers Lounge. Life is supposed to go on for a while. Average life expectancy well over 70. But what happens if you get injured at the hospital? Porter Adventist Hospital in the eye of the storm. I heard about it first from my buddy Bill Buckley. He was on 9 News last night. He's gone through so many health battles, including battles against leukemia, etc. And then he had hip replacement surgery at Porter Adventist Hospital. Then he got a letter in the mail saying, oops, we had a little problem with some of our cleaning and you might have an infection. Look out. Today's Denver Post, a story by Elizabeth Hernandez, says, a time period in which people may have been at risk extended. Hospital is offering tests for bloodborne pathogens to patients. Porter Adventist Hospital, which days ago warned about a breach to the sterilization process of surgical tools that could have put their patients at risk of contracting serious diseases, is now offering testing for bloodborne pathogens to patients who underwent orthopedic or spine surgical procedures between February 21st, 2016 and Thursday, a longer time span than before. Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment said the risk of contracting hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or HIV from the breach is unknown but is considered low. They've canceled surgeries there. The Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment has conducted additional surveys, and they're trying to gather information. But we may beat them to the punch with Greg Gold in Lawyers Lounge. If you missed the first part of Greg Gold, go to the podcast because he's really an interesting guy. He comes from Warren, Ohio, home of Hugh Hewitt. Hugh Hewitt's dad and Greg's dad, Ned Gold, practiced law together. Hugh Hewitt, when I see him, always asks about the Gold family because they know each other, they like each other, and Hugh Hewitt knows I'm friends with Greg Gold, who's in the lounge, and thanks to him, I've got some coffee with Bailey's in it and a skillet, delicious skillet from Sam's number 3. I'm sure yours arrived. Am I right, Greg Gold? I can hear you chewing now.
I've got it, and I've got the hash browns extra crispy. Good stuff going on right now. Thanks, Craig.
Perfect. My staff knows always to make the hash browns extra crispy, the way we like them. But you've been practicing law for a long time, and when I talked to you this week, there was a certain excitement in your voice because it's like a bloodhound chasing a scent. As trial lawyers, when we see injustice and wrongdoing and people get hurt badly, and especially when we are the first to unravel a mystery, it kind of turns us on. What can you tell us about Porter Hospital?
Well, our law firm is aggressively investigating the Porter Hospital situation, and it's a bad situation. Porter initially comes out and tells the public, I believe it was on Wednesday night, they had told everyone that they told the public that they have a situation in which their pre-cleaning process has subjected people from the time period of February of or July of 2016 to February of 2018, where they really weren't cleaning the surgical instruments right, and that people were subjected to a possibility of hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or HIV, and that was the initial announcement that they had. And as you just recounted, Craig, the second announcement that came out just last night says it wasn't from July of 2016 to February of 2018. It was essentially 2 years, over 2 years, from February of 2016 to April of 2016 or 2018, with no explanation as to whether it's the pre-cleaning process or whether it's the water that they were using to clean the surgical instruments. What's occurred and why our law firm's involved in this is that we're representing a family that was on television yesterday, the Harris family, in which their mother died, and we're still in the initial stages of investigating this. And her mother passed away 1 week ago as a result of hepatitis C. And We are requesting the documents, requesting the medical records, but she had had a surgery with a knee replacement surgery in September of 2018 over at Porter Adventist Hospital. And what we're asking for is the same thing that Porter is saying that they want to give: transparency and honesty. And the way that this information has been coming out very slowly, different stories each time. Frankly, when I talk to doctors about this, not a lot of the stories make sense either, whether it's the water or whether it's the pre-cleaning process. We're waiting for more information, and it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good at this point. And we're still doing our best to find out what's honest about what occurred in this situation.
Poor Patricia Harris. She was the lady who had a knee replacement surgery at Porter Adventist Hospital, and then she gets hepatitis C, and she's dead. Greg Gold, special guest in Craig's Lawyers Lounge. He's been hired by the family of Patricia Harris. It's interesting. I love the name Patricia because my wife is named Trish, her original name Patricia, and I'm going to have another lawyer in the lounge today, Patricia Bangard. She goes by the name Trish. But right now we're thinking about Patricia Harris, and I'm thinking about her because I had knee replacement surgery back in January of last year. And, you just trust that people are going to do things right. And it sounds like they might have been using dirty water at Porter or something that allowed all the surgical implements to be full of infections. And here you are letting your body be opened up while you're unconscious. And because of negligence, you're going to die of some horrible disease like hepatitis C. How far does this go, Greg Gold?
No, everyone is at the initial stages of this. And if you look at the news reports so far, who you're hearing from is the Colorado Department of Health. Who you're not hearing from, frankly, is Porter Hospital. Yesterday's story or today's story in the Denver Post ends with that Porter is not providing any other information, and there are no other answers to the questions. They've given a hotline in which they say two things. They say that the risk of infection or hepatitis C, B, or HIV is low, but it's unknown. And that they state that at the same time they're stating that they don't know the dates in which it occurred. I mean, it's changing day to day. The dates in which this entire people have been subject to these type of infections or these type of diseases is changed 2 times over the last 3 days, and it has become a national story, Craig. And as far as I know, our law firm's the only law firm in the country that's representing people so far on this, but it was on CNN a couple of days ago when it first came out, and I have a sense that this story and this problem is going to get bigger before it disappears. And it's the Harris family is devastated by what occurred to their mother, and the time periods and the fact that she died of hepatitis C and has no other reason to be able to contract the disease that we can find out so far is not a good sign for the family, and not in a terrible situation for frankly people of Colorado or the citizens who have had surgical surgery between July and this year, July 2016 and April.
Well, Greg Gold, breaking news about Porter Adventist Hospital, big infection outbreak. Patricia Harris is dead, hepatitis C. Greg and his law firm represent her, but how far does this go? And you talk about Porter Hospital and the claims that they want to be transparent and open. It sounds like what we're dealing with the Hancock administration. He comes on and says, we want to provide transparency and openness, but then when we ask for free records, they say, no, you're going to have to pay for it. And then they tell city council not to investigate. I mean, it's a tough situation, and you're one of the best personal injury lawyers in Colorado. We've talked about your big Walmart verdict. Sometimes big corporations, big government entities, here, big medicine, Porter Adventist Hospital, they kind of talk out of both sides of their mouth. What do you think's going through their heads right now?
I have a sense they're still trying to figure out what's going on with this whole story. It's just not a typical situation in which you come out, and here's what occurred. On February 20th, about a month ago, they came out and said, we are buying all new surgical equipment, but they don't announce it to the public until over a month later. And in April or March 28th, I believe, was the day that they finally announced to the public that they've got a problem. So they replace their surgical equipment before they have a situation in which before they even tell the public about it. So I'm hopeful and willing to work with Porter, too, to be able to see what they can do to get to the bottom of this and find out what is really going on, what's caused this, the potential for this hepatitis C outbreak and the situation, frankly, we're still investigating, but which our client's mother has passed away from hepatitis C.
And she just passed away last week? Is it 1 week?
She passed away the day before they announced it. The day before they announced it. And they knew about it for over a month since they bought the new surgical equipment, according to the reports in the newspaper.
So possibly if she'd have been notified a month prior, did she even know she had hepatitis C or had been exposed to an infection like that?
Craig, I will share this. The family has said, and we're still waiting for the medical records, the family has said that the hospital where she was being treated was having a very difficult time diagnosing her, and we're waiting for the records, but has a very difficult time diagnosing her and didn't understand until a week or two before her death. She'd been in the hospital for months that she had hepatitis C. And so the doctors I've spoken to on this have said there would have been an opportunity to be able to provide her with medication that could have been able to save her life. So
wow.
Our law firm's investigating this so far, and it doesn't look good.
I bet you'll be busy. Yeah, at the Gold Law Firm, I bet every news channel is going to be coming down there, maybe even national news. And the bottom line is if they're passing along to surgical patients infections from hepatitis B, hepatitis C, or, God forbid, HIV, there are medicines that can deal with that, but the people need to be advised that they're at risk for this, because how would an average person think they would get HIV or hepatitis C just because they had knee replacement or hip replacement surgery?
You're exactly right. And, we've talked about this before, Craig. One of the things that's outrageous that our legislature has to do something about, and I'll take every opportunity I can to talk about this, is the terrible limitations on medical malpractice law that Colorado citizens have. A teacher, you make a mistake. You're a lawyer, you make a mistake. You have to pay responsible damages, what a jury determines. You're a doctor, and you make a mistake in Colorado. The cap is $300,000, regardless of the devastation to your family that occurs as a result of that. And so I know you understand the limitations and. But frankly,
and it makes it for an unfair playing field, because a lot of great personal injury lawyers won't touch a med mal case because it's so one-sided for the doctors. They have great insurance defense lawyers. But here, are we really talking about doctors, or are they kind of victims too? They never wanted this to happen to their patients. Here it appears that Porter Hospital were the people at fault.
There cannot be a doctor. You're exactly right. It's the hospital who's responsible for cleaning the surgical instruments, and they're also have immunity through medical malpractice laws. But it's the hospital that should be responsible for cleaning this, from what we can tell in our investigation so far.
Well, Greg, I'm going to let you finish the rest of your skillet in peace. You're going to have a busy week with all this going on. Thanks for breaking it on 710 KNUS. And what's your final good word to the people of the Front Range of Colorado?
Well, first of all, I'll keep you updated on this story. And again, if anyone, they have a hotline that they can call for Porter Hospital. Our law office has a hotline that you can call if you want to be able to investigate this as well. And I'm hopeful that there's no other people who have gone through this, or families who have died, or people who have hepatitis C, but our telephones at our office, we've had several calls, and this is the most serious one that we're investigating.
It is the Gold Law Firm. Our special guest, Greg Gold. If you want to see a good-looking guy in a cowboy hat, look him up, Google him. I hope this hasn't affected your family. Greg Gold, good luck as you chase down this story, and thanks for sharing it again. And thanks for ordering from Sam's number 3, one of my favorite spots.
God bless you. And
All
thank
right.
you for having me over last week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Greg Gold in the lounge. I like to talk about local events because you can get your national news from national TV and national radio. But I did study international relations and political science at Colorado College, and I just have a sense that while we've been focused on Hancock, etc., lots of things are going down around the world. There are massive uprisings on Israel's border with Gaza. We need to talk about that. Iran getting its way in Syria, backed by Russia. What's going on with Russia? And oh my goodness, China. Who could be an expert on all these countries? A guy I know, Professor Jonathan Edelman. He's a professor at the Korbel School for International Studies, affiliated with the University of Denver. He's my guest next when we come back on 710 KNUS.